Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. A very happy Monday. I'm off for a week, so I might as well get a couple of videos in when I can. If this is your first time coming across the channel, please do like and subscribe. How good were we the weekend? How good were we against Newcastle United? They brought up 11,000 fans up to Celtic Park with them. Fair play to them, but you know what? Eddie Howe, they got scalped 4-0. Johnny Kenny producing some magic. Arnie Ingles producing some penalty conversions, you could say. Penalty kicks. Yang scoring. Liam Scales scoring an absolute lovely header. And most of all, Kieran Tierney coming on for an emotional welcome back reception after 6 years away from Celtic, playing for Arsenal and Sociedad. Emotional times for him when he came on. But look at he put on the play for Scales, and that's the most important thing. But we're here to talk about a defensive midfielder Celtic having the radar. We're here to talk about Andrej Bačanin. We're here to talk about the two departures of two wingers as well at Celtic, and what the fuck is going on regards to our striking situation. Because let's be honest, we have Callum Osmond and Maeda that are coming in over the last month. We haven't seen Maeda play yet for Celtic because he was only confirmed on Saturday morning. We've only seen little glimpse of Callum Osmond so far in the Celtic shirt in pre-season. We have Maeda, who is wanted by Brentford, and I'm sure there's going to be a host of clubs in this window because when you're a key asset, there's going to be attention. Maeda's got over 20 goals last season. We can't afford to lose Maeda, especially to Brentford. We lost Oyer to Brentford, we got a decent fee. They're looking to replace players that they've lost in this window in the attacking positions. And Maeda, if you want to put a price tag on Maeda, it's over 25 million. Don't care, it's the Premier League. They have the money at their disposal. They're after making 71 million from the guy that's at to join the Manchester United, Guerrero. So why not? Why not? Celtic should be ambitious, but we're not going to lose him. He's a big part of Brendan Rodgers' plans. He's one of our key players. We've seen it in the Champions League. We've seen it in Derby days. We cannot lose Maeda to Brentford. I'm sorry, Celtic are 3 times the club than Brentford. Brentford might have the Premier League money, but we have the stadium, we have the fan base, we have the Champions League nights. So what would you rather do, work under Keith Andrews or work under Brendan Rodgers? Common sense. Let's be honest, he's not going to go. It needs to be a ridiculous bid for Celtic to get rid of Maeda. He has 3 years left in his contract. He ain't going anywhere, folks. I won't be worrying about it, to be honest with you. We are looking at a defensive midfielder, a guy called Andrej Bačanin. Now, he's a Serbian defensive midfielder that plays in the Serbian top division, a team that finished 4th in the Serbian league last season. And it's not just us that are interested in him. Rangers are interested in him, Udinese are interested in him, Ajax are interested in him. He played 17 games last season, scored 1 goal, but he's a unit. He's 6'1". He has not been capped for Serbian senior team yet. He's played on that 19 level for them. On transfer market, he's valued at 500k. Reports I'm reading that Celtic are willing to offer 1.2 million to get this guy across. Look, we do need to strengthen the defensive midfield. I've said it so many times on the channel. Callum McGregor, phenomenal athlete, phenomenal captain, but does he have the legs for another 2 seasons? Probably, but he can't play every single game. You know, it was handy a couple of seasons ago when we had Beaton that could fit in that position, but we don't have a decent defensive midfielder. Barry McGregor, you know, Atate can play in that role, but he's better more attacking. So we really need to go out and get a decent defensive midfielder. To be honest, yeah, he looks like he's getting interest across Europe, this guy Bačanin, but I'd really like to see us spend about 5 million on a more of established defensive midfielder, something closer to home. Because you bring this guy into the squad, and what if he doesn't live up to it? What if we start calling him a dud signing in the space of a year? I just feel like right now with Celtic, we brought Maeda in, we brought Osmond in, we've Ida that's, you know, 50-50 opinions across the Celtic board. We have not Celtic board, Celtic fans. We have Johnny Kenny that's starting to show that he could do in a Celtic shirt. I still don't feel convinced going into this Champions League playoff. I feel like we need to get another striker. I know we were linked with a clue striker last week, but I think Celtic, I just think like we have 5 strikers at our disposal and we don't have a first choice striker. In my eyes and my heart, I go Maeda, but I mean we're putting Maeda in that front row. Who's going to play on the left with Jota out being injured? We're on the verge of losing 2 wingers anyway that are not really contributing to the team in any sense. Lewis Palma, 41 games in a Celtic shirt, 3 years left in his deal. He's on the verge of joining. He's in Poland to complete his loan move to Lech Poznan. And I wish him the best. At the end of the day, the first 3 months in the Celtic shirt, he looked superb. And then it just dipped and dipped. As soon as he started doing them TikTok videos, it just went to the shit. Went to the absolute shit. Scoring some goals in the Champions League against Atletico and, you know, scoring some long range cracking goals, and it just went to the dogs. Went to the dogs with Palma. Tilio just hasn't lived up to the hype in the Celtic shirt. Hasn't got the chance, some fans will say. The Aussie is on the verge of joining Rapid Vienna in the Austrian Bundesliga. We've done business in the past with Rapid Vienna, as we know that we inquired with regards to one of their previous wingers, Janssen, the Swede. They're looking to replace him with Tilio. Tilio will go for 400k loan fee, but there is an option to buy a 1.5 million. But he has to play 20 games for the Austrian team. So let's see what happens with Tilio. 23 years of age, and look, if he wants to even be any shot making the World Cup next year, he has to play first team football. So the Australian national team will look at him. But regards to getting these 2 wingers out, we need to really push Royal Antwerp for Balikwisha. Balikwisha came out on 2 different occasions that he wants to join Celtic. He wants to leave Royal Antwerp. 1 year left in his deal. Let's get the 4 or 5 million over the table and get him in. Get him in. We have the money there for the disposal. Quite now, we look quite weak on the wings. We have Jamesy there, we have Yang there, and I hope we don't lose Yang. Unless Yang goes on loan to the Scottish Premiership team. I'd rather see him going on loan to Hibs where we can bring him back and he can be a stronger player. But Brendan's a fan of Yang. He says he's a good squad player, so hope we will see him stay in the Celtic shirt regardless there's interest from other clubs. Quan will leave Celtic. He wasn't a part of the 40-man squad for pre-season, so Quan will leave Celtic after spending on loan at Hibs last season and then a brief spell at St Mirren the season before that. Never played a competitive game for Celtic as well, Quan, so hopefully we'll see him go as well. We really need to get another centre back in. I've been impressed with Dane Murray over pre-season. He looks like he's become a unit. He looks like he's maturing more. Looks like he's more composed in the ball. Same with Austin Trusty. Like, there is times where I say Austin Trusty looks fragile, and I think over the last 2 games, especially against Newcastle and against Sporting Lisbon, he's made an impact. He's made an impact, and I know these are only friendly games. It's all about getting minutes up and getting stronger again. But you know, let's see what happens with Austin Trusty. He might prove people wrong, but Carter Vickers will be back in the squad soon. Alistair Johnson will be back in the squad soon. I know some fans feel like we're after getting weaker than we were this time last year. We haven't replaced Kyogo. Let's be honest. Since Shane, we haven't replaced him. We need to replace Kuhn. And look, Benjamin Nygren has been really good so far in the 2 games we've seen him really play for Celtic. I know you've seen him against Estrella, but I wouldn't really count that game behind closed doors. So that's really it from me. Let's see what happens with Andrej Bačanin. Let's see what happens with Michel-Ange Balikwisha, the 24-year-old that plays for Royal Antwerp. Anything else, I'll be back on the channel to talk to you. Hail, hail. Come on.